Pakistan-occupied Kashmir remains on the boil. With a shut-down strike underway, 3 more protesters have been killed. As Asim Munir's forces opened fire on the civilians, taking the death toll now to 14. Amid this, the internal chaos is also intensified under Munir's watch with another deadly attack by the Tehreek-e-Taliban. Let's break this down for you. Armed with firearms and hand grenades, TTP fighters stormed a checkpoint in northwestern Pakistan's Peshawar. The outfit claimed responsibility for killing 6 paramilitary personnel and abducting 8 others, who have been shifted to an undisclosed location. And this comes amid a fragile ceasefire between Pakistan and Afghanistan, remember. While Islamabad accuses Kabul of harboring TTP fighters, the latter has repeatedly denied the charge. Amid all of this, the situation is extremely grim in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Markets were shut down across Muzaffarabad on a call issued by JAAC, Joint Awami Action Committee. Fresh clashes broke out between the JAAC workers and the security forces, who resorted to using tear gas. Prior to today, 11 people were killed, over 70 others suffered injuries. And while a curfew has been imposed and internet services have been suspended, people defied the pressure tactics and they came out onto the streets in large numbers, including in Bimber's Barnala city. Reports of police firing and shelling also emerged from multiple areas, including Rawalkot. As a huge number of protesters gathered in Muzaffarabad as well, JAAC core committee member claiming that Pakistani rangers and police are opening indiscriminate fire on the people in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. He escalated the issue to UK MP Imran Hussain as well, in fact. And the present crisis escalated after JAC was banned by Pakistan on the 5th of June, remember. In its capacity as a civil society group, it has raised issues like electricity tariffs, inflation, political rights. However, Islamabad has clearly taken offense over its demand for abolishing 12 seats occupied by Pakistanis in the so-called Legislative Assembly. India also has come down heavily on the brutality of the Pakistan forces in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and accused Pakistan of deflecting from its human rights abuses. Listen to this.
There are reports of police brutality, which you would have seen. There are several reports in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, in which several people have been killed. There are several more who have been injured. We hope the international community will hold Pakistan accountable for its misdeeds and its abuses.
And rattled by the scale of the protests, Faisal Rathore, who heads the so-called government of PoK, invited JAC to resume negotiations a day earlier in order to prevent the situation from worsening further. And as the protests continue to rage, locals are preparing for a long battle ahead, it seems. They are stocking up essential goods, fearing that the lockdown in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir may last even for a month.
The lockdown, we are buying essential goods, and there is no idea how long it will last. It could even last a month. That's why we are purchasing necessary items in advance. The situation is uncertain. Shukat Nawaz Mir, Ed Jack member, has also said that you should store at least 1 month's supply.
Meanwhile, people in Jammu and Kashmir staged a symbolic protest outside the UN office in Srinagar and submitted a memorandum over the atrocities being committed in PoK. Activists also called for Islamabad to be held accountable at the global stage.
Human rights defender Indian Jammu and Kashmir se Taslima Akhtar, मैं पुरजोर अल्फाजों से
I strongly condemn the violence being perpetrated by the Pakistan Army against innocent civilians in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. International human rights organizations across the globe must raise their voices against the fact that the Pakistani Army and government are colluding to suppress the voices of innocent civilians in the region.
उनकी होलियों में तब्दील किया है, पुरजोर अल्फाजों से उसका कंडम करती हूँ.
And now Pakistan's crackdown is facing backlash in other parts of the world as well. For instance, members of the Kashmiri diaspora and human rights activists staged a protest outside the Pakistani consulate in Bradford, slamming the use of excessive force against the protesters. Some of them called upon the Kashmiri police personnel to abstain from duty until Pakistan withdraws its forces to its territory. UK MP Imran Hussain, who heads the all-party parliamentary group on Kashmir in the UK Parliament, reiterated the need for the Starmer-led government to address the dire situation in PoK by using diplomatic channels. He said, I'm quoting here, "We must lift the lockdown, restore full communication immediately, and resume peaceful talks." As Munir's brutal crackdown continues, calls are growing for Pakistan to set its house in order before claiming to pontificate on peace to the rest of the world. Our next story is from the UK. Britain has one of the highest aid budgets across the world, spending 0.5% of its gross national income on foreign aid. However, details of a secret government report have now thrown light on how a portion of these funds allegedly fell into wrong hands when the Tories were in power. This report was commissioned by UK security officials in 2023 after fraud was detected allegedly in aid packages announced by the government during the COVID-19 pandemic. While this report was meant to be shared with multiple officials reportedly, including those from the Foreign Office, its findings were so shocking that the UK Cabinet Office allegedly decided not to disclose it. As per the Telegraph, which accessed details of the report, nearly $38 billion of taxpayers' money meant as aid payment and COVID relief loans were routed to terrorists, allegedly, countries hostile to the UK, and gangsters between 2015 and 2021, allegedly. For instance, it claimed that funds went to ISIS terrorists in Syria and companies linked to Russia. A China link surfaced as well, allegedly. Firms associated with People's Liberation Army also allegedly received part of these funds. That's not all. According to the report, which assessed government grants, counter-terrorism funding was inadvertently handed over to extremists, allegedly espousing anti-Western ideology. A large chunk of the aid money also allegedly went to criminal gangs, including human traffickers, who claimed housing benefits and disability allowances. In fact, while the total misappropriated funds represented a small fraction of the total aid grants disbursed from 2015 to 2021, experts reportedly stressed on the need for the government to be more cautious about who is involved in projects which it is funding. And after these findings have been reported, the UK government has broken its silence. A spokesperson for the country's cabinet office said the Keir Starmer-led government is taking unprecedented action to tackle public sector fraud. He added that taxpayers' money worth nearly $10 million was saved in the past year through fraud prevention and recovery. A small group of islands in the Indian Ocean, once again at the heart of a raging international debate involving Mauritius, Britain, the United States. Mauritius is now urging the British government to move ahead, reportedly, with the transfer of the Chagos Islands without further delay. Mauritius has maintained that the islands rightfully belong to it. Previously, the UK has signed a $4.6 billion deal to hand over sovereignty of the islands to Mauritius. But it comes with a caveat that it will continue to control a UK-US military base.
So there's no alternative but to act in Britain's national interest. By agreeing to this deal now on our terms, we're securing strong protections, including from malign influence, that will allow the base to operate well into the next century, helping to keep us safe for generations to come.
According to reports, officials in Washington have been exploring different options as the base is considered crucial to U.S. military operations. And it has long been a critical asset in the Pentagon's global strategy. The island played a major role in the 2001 strikes in Afghanistan and the 2003 U.S. invasion of Iraq. But then the timing of this development also makes it rather interesting. The U.S. and Iran locked in that fragile ceasefire with the continuing standoff over who has the upper hand in Hormuz. According to a report by Iranian state-owned news media organization Press TV, it could be amongst a list of U.S. bases on Tehran's radar. Since the war there started, Iran has already launched multiple strikes on the joint base. One such strike in late March was struck down by a U.S. warship. In March, London gave permission to Washington to launch missiles striking Iranian missile launchers from the joint base as the West Asia war continued to drag on then. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.